Welcome to the Media Zoo. The Democratic National Convention. MyNEWPhilly.com was fortunate enough to get all-access media passes that allowed us to get on the floor while the First Lady Michelle Obama was being introduced, access to the arena, as well as backstage with media brass and bump elbows with media personalities such as Wolf Blitzer, Charlie Rose, oh look, there's Gayle King, Chris Matthews from NBC, Andrea Mitchell, Senator Hughes and wife Cheryl Lee Ralph. We even ran into civil rights crusaders, Congressman John Lewis and Reverend Jesse Jackson. Eva Longoria now famously said, "My family didn't cross the border crossed us." And Sarah Silverman felt compelled to tell booing Bernie supporters they were being ridiculous. But at this point, she's kinda right. There's the back of Jerry Springer's head, promise. There was even a performance by Demi Lovato and Paul Simon. But our day started with the SEPTA bus shuttle ride from 12th and Arch at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, through the city down to the heavily protected Wells Fargo Center. After a brief security check, we headed through the gates with no problem and into a never-ending sea of reporters, anchors, and production junkies. I love this game. Once inside the Wells Fargo Center, if you're a Philadelphia native, you know you're there, but it's definitely not the same feel as a Sixers home game at all. It's all business in here. Every news outlet from everywhere is here and they're on their job. There's command centers, there's booths, there's tables, there's wires, there's microphones, there's cameras everywhere. We couldn't show you all of them if we tried, but our guys from Temple were here. And Google, of course, USA Today, ABC, Fox, NBC. The Associated Press wasn't too happy about me poking around with my camera in their tent. Hey, Associated Press. Anyway, moving on. Now, if you were in Philadelphia for the DNC, then you know it was almost 100 degrees. So it was cool to see that the media tents had air conditioning. And speaking of air conditioning, there were all of these missing windows with these giant tubes coming into the Wells Fargo arena. At first, we didn't know what they were, but when you stood in front of them and felt that cool breeze, you appreciated that they also added additional air conditioning to the Wells Fargo Center. Oh, and shout out to whoever put in these cool charging stations. The feel of the arena was something I'll never forget. Just being in the one room that you know the entire world is watching is a surreal feeling. It was only then that I understood the importance of voting, democracy, politics, and presidency.
On this faithful foundation that we built.
And we definitely can't forget to mention Cory Booker, whose speech kinda sounded like he may run for president in the future.
Gay or straight, any religion.
This is some real heavy stuff. To sum it all up, as a journalist, we take many things and experiences for granted as just work. But I was able to remove myself from it all for just 1 second this night and say, wow, I really love my job. I love my country. And I'm thankful for this experience. Then it poured down raining and the buses didn't leave until it was completely over, so we sat on one for a half hour, but made it back to the city to do it all again the next day. Thanks for watching My New Philly, where something's always new and everything's always Philly.